Our clients are anything from your accounting firms to your banks and financial services companies out there.
Which industry sectors are you seeing hit the hardest, meaning they're just not hiring?
Everyone. At the end of the day, I mean, everyone's being hurt. The last 4 months have definitely shown us a rebound. We like to think in our industry that we're always the first to see things coming, and we're always hopefully the first ones to see the rebound. And I think that's definitely been the story here.
Well, I mean, I guess that's definitely true in your industry. I actually have a family member in your industry as well. It keeps me up to speed. Because if people aren't hiring, then you guys are going to know about it because your clients are not going to give you a call.
Right.
What are some of the things that I know you have when I say clients, you have company clients, but don't you have individuals that you have relationships with?
We do.
What are some of the things that they're telling you or they're doing?
Well, first of all, I got to warn good people, and there's a lot, certainly, of good people on the street right now who are looking for gainful employment, to be careful, number one, with predatory schemes. And we're seeing a lot of that. We see companies who are asking executives for $10,000 to $15,000 up front for a service that should be free.
Right.
Not only my recruiting firm, but there's certainly a lot others who provide great services.
And they're advertising on regular recruiting websites and as having jobs that are
they say,
available.
hey, CEOs needed, CFOs needed. You call them, they give you a big pitch, and then they want money for it.
I know. I got in trouble when I did that. I tried to do a scam. No, I'm kidding. I would never do something like that. But no, that is wrong. And you can actually you can actually see them very easily.
Yep.
If you know what to look for. So,
listen, Ron, I'll tell you this. I've been with the same company for almost 9 years. I've been in the recruiting game in some shape or another for almost 11. I've never seen so much talent on the street as I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
And more than ever, I think the advice that would behoove us on your show to give individuals is you got to be persistent. You got to network. You cannot rely on online job boards. And you really got to make it a full-time job to go out there and market yourself, your skills. You got to use your centers of influence and your relationships in order to go out there and make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing people that have never had to look for a job outside of college. Huh?
You nailed it.
And they're in their mid-40s. So for 20 plus years, they've never had to find it.
You have bank presidents or executive vice presidents of a line of business in the bank who the last time they looked for an opportunity was straight out of grad school. And people have always come knocking on their doors. And now they're part of that 10% of our population who are really being affected.
What
So I think the biggest advice, again we can give here is you got to be proactive. You got to network a lot. And it's really a relationship game.
Right. What kind of advice are you giving your the individuals, the companies? Don't you also provide advice on their general HR?
We do, and before I tell you what advice we give them, I'll tell you what challenges they're presenting to us. Is the fact that they're being overwhelmed. So let's say they have a position open for senior vice president of XYZ. Normally they'd get 100 applicants. Now they're seeing in excess of 1,000 applicants. And just the screening of these people alone is laborious because in the past you would screen out a lot of people who are not qualified. Now you have a lot of people who are well qualified and overqualified. So that's really a burden on these institutions who do have openings right now.
And I mean, another thing that I've seen out there are, which I think is kind of amazing, talking about looking for jobs. I was at Starbucks the other day, and there was someone working on their computer with a sign attached to the back that said, "I need work."
No way.
Out of work. We'll work for lattes. I saw that, which is really good. And for those of you that out there, by the way, at Starbucks, Starbucks actually did lower their price recently. To sort of with the economy, I think it's like $1.80. But if you bring a cup from yesterday, it's only a quarter. So what I like to say, I'm just giving advice on how to get. And we're actually going to have a whole show on how to. You just bring your cup with you from the day before, and it's only a quarter. And you didn't know that, Jimmy? Yeah, see Jimmy. Got the Jew in the crowd. Jimmy knows that, but
well, Ron, I'll tell you, it's not only doom and gloom out there, and I know a lot of people say the media is all about doom and gloom. We're seeing a lot of upside from not only private corporations, banks, accounting firms that are hiring, but we're seeing the federal government specifically now through TARP, TALF, the stimulus program, are creating thousands of jobs. I can't mention a government agency in specific, but there's one who's going to add over 1,500 jobs in the state of Florida alone in the next 4 months.
In what industry sector? Or in what capacity?
They're going to bring senior banking professionals and senior legal professionals into it to address the current malaise that we're in.
So I see. So people will be able to stay in their own industry, but they're going to be tapping into the other side of the equation. We talked about that before when we started the show, and we said that there are people that are out of work because their companies have either gone under or they've been excised, so to speak. And some of these are the smartest people. They're the ones that really know how to get us out. There's a huge brain drain in this country if we don't somehow try to retain some of the talent that is being lost.
You're right on point there, and in addition to that, I think so many fine individuals have to reinvent themselves during this time. I mean, not only in the mortgage industry, but in commercial banking, commercial real estate, residential. We're going to see people who in the past were having lucrative careers now having to reinvent themselves from scratch, and that's just the environment we're in. But with that also comes great opportunity, my friend. And we're smelling it on the horizon, and I really think the next 3 months in particular are going to be a telltale sign of what's to come.
Good. Carlos, thank you. You're always the voice of reason, except when you've had 5 drinks, and then you become even more smart. So
thank you so much for having me on.
I really appreciate that.
My wife would love that comment.
I know.
I'm sure
thank
she's
you very
listening
much. Thanks, Carlos. I really appreciate that. Actually, Carlos brought up a good idea about reinventing yourself, and that's actually something that I did recently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which
that was a good move for you.
And I can understand. I mean, exactly what it's all about, because I was running a company, a public relations, a marketing firm, doing okay, but I kept seeing my business kind of shrink. Just reduce. And I saw it obviously from the client side. I mean, I have clients or people that I was helping build relationships for out in the community, and I kind of saw and they were saying straight out, listen, we just don't have it in us, either financially or motivationally, to try to reach out and go after business. It's a circle the wagons mentality.
Well, they became victims of the economy. They became victims of the banks, so they were no longer lending them the money and whatever.
And my company, really, I took a look and I said, you know what, I can either ride this down or I can take a look at what's going on in the marketplace. And I switched industries. I switched to the insurance business, which I absolutely love. It's great. And then with a firm, Ben Trust. And I won't mention it too many times, although I do get little bennies at work, like I get a better better spot in the kitchen for my food in the fridge if I do mention the firm more.
Well, there you go. So mention the firm.
No, I'm a vice president with the company, and I absolutely love it, because now I'm actually in a position which, ironically, I'm able to take advantage of this market we're in, because a lot of companies are reevaluating the expenses and the things they put in place when things were good. And insurance is something that's very easy for the CEO or the president of a company to take a look at their expenses and say, how can I save money? And insurance is one thing that they can do. We just sat down with a company, actually, 15 employees, who the owner of the company had been paying his employees health insurance since the inception of the company, which is about 16 years, and never had any qualms about it. And, the rates were going up, and they would go up. And for the most part, he's got a young company. He's got people in the company who are young. The reality was, he said, listen, I can't do it anymore. He was going to ask his company to have to pay the individuals to have to pay a portion of it. Well, the individuals got together and said they'd be willing to take lesser type of coverage if they didn't have to pay. So, I came in and we looked at what they were doing, and they did have a premium coverage. We came in and we were able to take care of that for them. So, there is opportunity out there for the business owners that are out there and for the individuals out there to go back in and renegotiate. Next week, actually, and we'll be promoting this a little bit during the week, we're going to have a show that's going to be partially dedicated to not only opportunity out there in this so-called doom and gloom, local opportunity, things that you can do, an individual and a company can do to maybe save money or help, put themselves in a better financial state. But also we're going to talk about proactive things that you can do to take advantage in this type of climate that we're in. What types of businesses can you get into to take advantage of that?
Well, because of the industry right now. Because of the industry that's going on right now.
Yeah. So I think we're getting ready to take another break, and then we're going to probably go long after that with our next guest, Jimmy Freed from Sandstone, and it'll be a fun time. Trust me. And then we have a little contest, by the way. For those of you that are out there, we're going to do a little contest. The first person to text me back at 305-490-1400